This is the all-new Theragun Mini Plus. The Theragun Mini is a device that Therabody introduced to us over 5 years ago. This is now the 4th generation of that device since its introduction. Ironically, they did just bring us the 3rd generation Theragun Mini about 7 months ago. The big difference is that this device is not intended to be a replacement to the 3rd generation. It is more of a complement. This is more of your pro level or premium model. So in today's video, I'll talk about what some of the differences are between this device and the 3rd generation since they're selling them both. I'll talk about the specifications and features, and then I'll show myself using it before providing my overall thought. Let's start by taking a look at the device itself, which I have here. To start, the branding here, you've got the Theragun Mini Plus. This sort of shape of it has become the standard for their mini devices. So it's got this sort of standard triangle shape. You've got some indents on either side to make the grip on it easier. So you've got the Theragun Mini Plus here. You've got this sort of premium blue ring on it. This is not featured on any of their other mini devices, so this is going to be what indicates that it is the Plus version. As you turn it to the other side, you have the Therabody logo sort of etched into it. You have a heat vent on one side, and then on the other side, you have 2 different buttons. It's going to be a power button and then a button to control the attachment head. Now, this is the first mini device that has introduced a second button beyond the power button. So the 1st generation, you had 1 black button, 2nd generation, 1 blue button, 3rd generation, 1 silver button, and now this 4th generation in the Plus model, we get a secondary button here, which is going to control the attachment head, which has got some heated functionality on it. I'll talk about that in a little while. You do also have a USB-C charging port, and then the device comes standard with the heated attachment on it already. So this attachment is new. This is the sort of upgraded feature of the Plus model. So you do have the ability to do a heated attachment on here. This is the only attachment that comes with it. So it does have some other attachments that I'll talk about as well that are compatible with it. But in terms of taking the package out of the box, that is everything that you get. Now, the next thing you'll see is the case, which is a new elevated case for this. You got the Therabody branding on it. This is a soft-sided case, so this isn't going to be a hard-sided case. It's going to be a super protector for your device, but it's going to be a way to keep everything in one spot. You've got one little zipper that's got the Therabody branding there, and then you have a hook which allows you to attach it via a carabiner to a travel case or a backpack, anything like that. Inside the device, the massager fits very easily. You've got some extra compartments here for your charging cord and future attachments if you want. That's a big upgrade from the previous cases that were only big enough to fit pretty much the device and the attachment that were on it. So as you add some attachments to your repertoire here, there's going to be room inside the case for those. Now on the top of it here, you'll see that they've got a little diagram that indicates all the different attachment heads that are compatible with it. So you see there's 8 attachments total. Each of these shows you sort of what you want to use each attachment for. We'll talk a little bit more about those as I get into the attachment conversation a little bit later here. Now, in addition to that, you do also get the USB-C charging cord. It is USB-C to USB-C. There's a nice little compartment space for it in the case. So again, everything fits inside there. And then if you're not sure how to use the device, you do get an instruction manual. It's available in a lot of different language. It's really just a very high level warranty information, things like that. And then they have all these different cards that are going to teach you how to use the device depending on what area of your body you want to use it on, just different little guided card routines. There's a whole bunch of them. Now, there's not room inside the carrying case for either of these, but they do come in the box in a nice little black envelope. So something you just want to keep in a safe place if you're just getting started and want to learn how to use this device. With that being said, now let's talk about some of the specifications and features of this. As I go through some of these specifications, I am going to indicate what varies and what's different from the 3rd generation device. By no means do I want this to be a full comparison video or really a review of the 3rd generation device. If you're interested in that device, you can go on my channel and see that full review. But I do just want to create some comparisons so that potential buyers know what the differences are, because again, these are 2 devices that Therabody is continuing to sell. One, the Theragun Mini, designed for more of your general user, and then the Theragun Mini Plus, which is again the more premium model, which is going to be for a more serious user, people that are going to be high-level athletes or high school athletes, college athletes, people that are going to be actively using this a lot of the time for workouts, competitions, other than just daily home remedies and maintenance and sore muscles, things like that. As I go through these, just keep that in mind. So the first thing I mentioned earlier is the heated attachment. This device does have the capability of doing any of the Plus model attachments that have the power source to them. So that also includes the vibrating attachment and the cold attachment. There is also 8 total attachments that you saw in the case there that are compatible with this device. But the key feature of it is that these devices have the attachments that twist on and off and lock into place. If you're looking at the 3rd generation, which just sort of has the attachment that goes on with the ball bearings, that's not going to be an attachment that is going to be compatible with this. Now, the big difference is also in the stroke length and the stall force. So stroke length is the distance that this attachment head is going to move away from the device. So think of it as how much you're going to wind up if you're punching something. So the longer the stroke length, the more power it's going to have, the deeper it's going to penetrate into your muscles and tissues. The other thing is the stall force. So this does have a 25-pound stall force, which is quite high for a mini device. It is a little bit higher than the 3rd generation device. And so when you're looking at something in terms of power, you're definitely going to get a much deeper, more percussive feel from the Plus than you will from the 3rd generation device. I mentioned the heated attachment on here. I do want to just talk through the different levels of heat that this has. So it has 3 different levels of heat. You've got 113, 122, and 131 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to be 45, 50, or 55 degrees Celsius. It does take about 60 seconds to fully heat up. Again, that is what the second button here is for. Again, the same button is going to be if you're using the vibrating device or the cold device. So I will go ahead and turn it on now just to show the different speeds, to show the heat, all those indicators. It is a 3-speed device, so you're going to be on the lowest end 1,750 percussions per minute, on the highest speed 2,400 percussions per minute. So in order to turn the device on here, you just quick press that top button. You'll see when it comes on here, I have it on the highest speed. So you've got 3 white lights here indicating the speed, and then 3 orange lights here indicating the heat. So it's on the highest heat at 131 degrees, and it's on the highest speed of 2,400 percussions per minute, just to show what this looks like. You can already feel the heat on it. I know I said 60 seconds, but it is definitely noticeable. And the benefit of having the heat with these devices, really when you look at one of the features of why you want to use a massage gun is to help generate blood flow to whatever area you're massaging. So the massager is going to do that on its own, but when you incorporate heat, it's only just going to make that happen faster. So you're going to warm up faster, you're going to recover quicker, you're going to get blood flow, oxygen coming to your muscles from that heat, and just it's really comfortable feeling too, for that matter. Having this heated attachment is definitely a big upgrade from the standard Mini 3rd generation, and it's really the best feature of this device. It's why it comes standard with the device, and it just feels really, really good. Now, this is the highest speed that I have it on. I'll go ahead and show the lowest speed just as a comparison. You just go ahead and cycle down there again. So this is the lowest speed. And you actually feel the heat just slightly more on the low speed just because it's not percussing as fast. You do get a little bit of heat dissipation and heat loss when you're on that highest speed, but it's still very noticeable. So I hope that you're able to see just how this is, interacting with my muscle tissues here. It feels very good. The heat is just such an awesome addition here. Now, I also mentioned the noise while I have it on. This is the lowest speed. Put it on the highest speed here. Pretty quiet. You're not going to interrupt anybody. Show the power of this here as well. See how my hand is shaking? Like if I'm holding this, I can feel the vibrations all the way down in here. So I'm really happy with Therabody that they really brought that power back with this mini device. Now, to turn it off, you just quick press that button again. When you turn it back on, it's going to come back on to whatever settings you last had it on. So I just had it on the highest speed, the highest heat. It's going to return to that once I turn it back on. Now, this is also a Bluetooth compatible device, but as is the case with a lot of the Therabody devices, it is not yet shown in their app. But as is the case with a lot of the Therabody devices that I review, because I'm reviewing them so recently from when they've come out. So this just came out last week. It is not yet available in the app. That is the Therabody app that I'm referring to. But just know that once it is available in there, and it will be available in there, you're going to be able to control the speed settings. You're going to be able to follow guided routines. You're going to have suggestions of where to use it, when to use it, which attachments to use. You can just really control everything with the device from within the app. You can save routines in there. So it's not yet showcased in there, but know that that will be in there. And that's something that is a good replacement for these little cards, because they have videos that you can actually follow along with. It's going to beep. It's going to indicate to you when you should be rotating, moving to different areas. It's going to tell you how fast to go. There's some pressure indicators there that it's going to tell you if you're pressing hard enough, or you can just track, how much progress you're making in your different routines there. You can also connect it with different health and fitness apps. Definitely a good addition there with the app, but again, not yet available, so I'm not able to show that in this video. You'll see it's not adjustable, so it is fixed at this angle, so you can't adjust the attachment head at any different angle here. But you do have a good amount of variance in terms of how you can grip this. You want to grip it on the sides or on the top, just different ways that you can get, but you're not going to get a huge reach to your back with it just because of how narrow and how short this device actually is. The battery life on this is 120 minutes. That is about an hour less than the third generation. Again, that's going to be primarily due to the fact that you have this power driving into the attachment. So obviously on the third generation, you're only powering the device. With this fourth generation, you're powering the device and drawing power to the attachment heads to either heat it, vibrate it, cool it, what have you. Now, if you're not going to use any of those attachments that have the power, if you're just going to use a standard attachment, then that battery life is going to be on that higher end. But the more you use this on a high heat and high speed, that battery life is going to be lower. Battery is not removable on this, so if you do get to a point where your battery dies, you're going to have to reach out to Therabody or just get a new device. The weight on this is another area where it is a lot heavier than the third generation, almost double. So the third generation is 0.875 ounces. This is 31.2 ounces. So that's about 1 pound, 15 ounces. So it's definitely a much more noticeable weight behind it. But I actually like that. It does give it that premium feel to me. And it's something that I actually commented on the third generation that I thought made it feel cheap because it was so light. It didn't feel like it had a lot of power. It didn't feel like it was doing a whole lot for me. Obviously, the combination of that being smaller, lighter, shorter stroke length, that was all in an effort to make a longer battery life, but also make a smaller device. And again, why that device is more for your general user. This one being at over a pound, it's a little bit of weight to hold, but it just feels like it has more power because of that weight. So for me, I like it. The price point on this is $280 compared to the price point on the Theragun Mini, which is $210. The attachment heads here, to go back to those, again, there's 8 different attachment heads that are compatible with it. You do get a little bit of a discount if you choose to bundle in the cold attachment with this versus just buying it by itself. I think if you're going to buy the cold attachment by itself, it's around $100. If you bundle it in, I want to say it's like maybe around $70. So a pretty significant discount there. But again, all the other attachments are compatible with that. The vibrating attachment and any of the standard, the ball attachment, the wedge attachment, micropoint, all of those are capable of being used with this. This one comes with the heat standard because again, that's what makes it the Plus model and is more likely what people are going to be using the most often if you have that heating capability, because most people just use the standard ball. Having the heat with that is just a huge benefit. It does come with a 1-year warranty. A few other features of this does have a travel lock on it. So if you just quick press this power button a few times, it's gonna lock it. So if you're putting that in a suitcase, in a backpack, or you're just traveling with it, it's gonna prevent it from turning on. You can just quick press that a few times and it's gonna unlock it. It is HSA and FSA eligible. It is also TSA approved. I believe the only color for this right now is this black with this blue ring. It's going to be sort of the standard look that you see with those Plus model devices compared to the Theragun Mini, which does have some other colors that have been introduced along the way. So I would expect that this is probably going to just stay this color only, but if you want some different colorways, maybe look at just the regular Theragun Mini there. Overall, when you're comparing this to the third generation, again, the third generation, more of your standard general user, just looking for home use, general soreness, maintenance. This, the more premium model, sort of geared towards your athletes, people that are looking for every sort of little feature that they can tune in to their body and really get in there with the heat, the extra power, things like that. When it comes to the stall force on this 25-pound stall force, I didn't show it, so I want to make sure I show that as well. So I'm going to put this back on the highest speed here and just show the stall force here. So it does stop, but this is a fair amount of pressure that I'm applying against it. And when it comes to actually using the device, first off, you shouldn't really be pushing that hard. You should just be floating over your muscle tissues. But it's pretty difficult to push that hard when you're actually using it on your body anywhere. Now, if you're somebody that likes a more aggressive massage, you want to go in your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, maybe your calves, and press a little bit harder, you're going to be able to do that with this. But the point I want to make here is that it's not going to really be that important. You should really just be guiding along your muscle tissue at a very slow pace and letting the device do most of the work versus you pressing hard into it. It's something that I forgot to mention earlier, so I wanted to make sure that I at least showed that stall force with it. And again, that is a feature because of it being a Plus model. It's got a little extra power behind it. Something to keep in mind when you're comparing the two of them. In terms of the things that I like, again, I like that they've added the stroke length and the stall force to this. I like the heated attachment. If you go back and look at my review of the 3rd generation, I was pretty disappointed on how they made it lighter. It just felt cheaper to me. Again, it is more of a general use case scenario. But when you go from the 2nd generation, I was expecting a lot of upgrades with it. The heat was an upgrade that I was expecting. I'm glad we finally got it. My speculation is as we look to the 4th generation, we're probably going to get some component of red light therapy built into it, likely on the side of it here. Maybe they figure out a way to get it built in so it shines down, but that's sort of the other feature that's become standard with their Plus level devices. Now, we'll also maybe get a version that gets slightly lighter as battery life gets longer, some things like that. That's just my thoughts on that. From a hand feel, I wish it had a little bit more of a non-slip surface. And when you look back at some of the previous generations, it had a little bit of a rubberized feel. I wish it had that. I like that it's got the indentations here to grab it. This might be slightly too big if you have smaller hands or if you have weaker hands. Again, this is a pound, so something to keep in mind there. The case is a win for me. The fact that it has room for additional attachments beyond what just comes with the device. You're able to add to your repertoire and add your inventory of attachments there and actually carry them with you. That's a win. I like that we've got some extra buttons here now that do a few different things. Generally speaking though, this is probably my favorite mini massage gun at the moment. I think this is going to be what I actually add into my personal routines when I'm traveling. It's got a lot of the features I've been waiting for from Therabody when it comes to the mini level device. It's exactly what I expected the 3rd generation to be, but thankfully we only had to wait 7 months to get it. If you guys have questions about this device, go ahead, drop it in the comments down below. If you like videos like this, please consider giving a thumbs up, consider subscribing to my channel. As we get into the shopping season here, I'm gonna be reviewing a lot of different devices on a wide spectrum from massage guns to weird things that you've never seen before. I'm really excited for it. I have a lot of videos lined up over the next 2 months, so if you're interested and intrigued or you're in the market for some new recovery devices, please keep an eye on my channel because I'm gonna have a lot of new videos coming out soon. But otherwise, that is the Theragun Mini Plus. That's a review. Enjoy your recovery.